What the hell's going on with Canada? Ordinary Canadian episode 33 Alberta week, because this is the thing happening in Canada that I don't think most Canadians outside Alberta, even in Alberta, fully understand yet. Let's focus in on a specific and important detail that's gotten very literal national coverage. In March 2026, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith said this in the legislature. I'm going to read it directly. Quote, "I wish we could rely on the RCMP, but they have been not forthcoming on giving us this information. I wish we could rely on CSIS, but they have not been forthcoming at giving us this information because you have to get certain security clearances," unquote. That's the Premier of Alberta telling the legislature that the RCMP and CSIS will not share foreign interference intelligence with her and her government about a referendum that's happening in this province in October. Smith then applied for and received a top secret security clearance on May 7th so she could receive CSIS briefings on foreign interference in the Alberta referendum. That's significant because it's unusual. Provincial premiers don't need top secret clearances. The fact that she sought it tells you something about what she believed she wasn't being told. Now, this is the part that doesn't add up. CSIS Director Dan Rogers publicly confirmed on May 9th that Alberta's referendum process is vulnerable to foreign interference. He said CSIS is working to investigate and reduce threats, but when asked whether any of those threat reduction measures involved the Alberta referendum specifically, he said he couldn't discuss the specifics. So CSIS publicly acknowledges the referendum is vulnerable. CSIS won't tell Alberta's premier what it knows, and CSIS won't tell the public what it's doing about it. And the federal government's public response has been Carney basically saying he expects the U.S. to respect Canadian sovereignty. Here's the provincial security infrastructure currently defending a referendum, sort of, that the country's espionage and intelligence agency says is vulnerable to foreign interference. Alberta's Provincial Security Intelligence Office has 16 employees, 16 for a province of 4.8 million people, for a referendum with an October 19th date, and this is probably going into their intake, hi guys, against documented foreign interference from both Russia and the United States. And why this is going into the intake, you'll see later next week. But 16 people, the DisinfoWatch report published May 6th, produced by 5 Canadian research institutions, documented 3 simultaneous interference streams, Russia covertly, the US overtly, commercial content farms, 40 million YouTube views of AI-generated pro-separation content, 67 Kremlin-aligned articles about how Alberta independence would be good, MAGA influencers with tens of millions of followers, amplifying the separation narrative. Now, I want to say something very carefully. I am not saying Danielle Smith is a foreign agent. I am also not saying she is not. I am not saying the Alberta independence movement is entirely manufactured, but I'm also not saying it's not. A genuine grievance doesn't need to be manufactured, but it can be. Alberta's frustration with Ottawa is real and has been building for decades. What I'm saying is this: a genuine, organic, legitimate political movement inside a Canadian province is being amplified, funded, and operationally supported by a foreign government that has explicitly stated it wants the province to leave Canada, and the federal government has intelligence about the extent of the support, and it's not telling the province holding the vote what that intelligence says because it potentially can't trust